Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's Heart to Heart. I'm your host, Karin Del Maestro, your health and transformation coach, breast cancer, BRCA2 thriver. And you can see I am not alone today. I am currently joined by three other amazing women, and we may have some more popping on. So hold on tight and watch closely. So, who are these incredible women? You've heard me talking about a 90-day transformational speaker program with an organization called Amplify Voices. And we are getting ready to put on our first event this coming Thursday. So we are here today with Amplify Voices founder, Deb Shapiro, with two of our speakers, Buffy and Dr. Christina Hibbett. And we're going to be telling you a little bit about the event because we want you there. We know, and we're being joined now by Dana, who's in New York City. We can see that familiar skyline.
So sorry, I'm a little late. Hi, everyone.
No, not a problem at all. You actually came at the perfect time. What I would love, because I know Dana and Deb, you two got together and came up with this idea of Beyond Breast Cancer. How did it come about? Share with us a little bit.
Well, I'll jump in, and then Dana, I'll let you add in from your perspective. But
Okay.
as Karin mentioned, thanks, Karin. I am the founder of Amplify Voices, which is an organization that helps individuals discover, develop, and amplify their voices. And we work particularly with different communities that have historically been silenced, they've been misunderstood or oppressed. And we have had the honor of giving voices to women who have been silenced from sex trafficking, those who have been formerly incarcerated. And now, coming into 2023, we are very excited to be giving voices to women who have been touched by breast cancer. And this came about because we had partnered with another woman from the Aquiolanda Women's Foundation. Her name is Anna Pincus. Anna Pincus was the title sponsor for our first event. And after we had done that, it was so powerful that she came back and said, I want to introduce you to two people, to Dana and to Dr. Shuba, who wanted to give rise to a new voice, women who had been touched by breast cancer. And as soon as I heard what it was that they wanted to be able to create and the ripples they wanted to create out in the world, that was something that I said yes to. And so, Dana, I know that you probably have a little bit of backstory there that even I don't have. So is there anything you want to share about that?
No, I'd met Anna. We were in a women's circle together, and she had told me about Amplify Voices and what they'd already done. And I said, we have an absolute, really pandemic going on in the world, which is called breast cancer. And would you ever consider doing something about breast cancer? And she said, great idea. And that really started. And the more that I kind of told her about how many women are dying diagnosed, that everything is drug related and nothing is done naturally, and what I'm doing in order to live with stage 4 metastatic, she said, I think this is a really profound thing. And that's really kind of how it started to unfold. And I think also what's so important is that we engage in a wider audience. Breast cancer just doesn't need to be the awareness of it, and what needs to change and what needs to amplify is a larger conversation, not just women that are touched with breast cancer and the families by it, but that every single one who's walking the streets. I mean, I can walk the streets in New York right now, pass by 8 women, and one is going to get it. We can count down 20 seconds. So I really told her, look, I want to start a different type of campaign, and this needs to include everyone who's walking around this world. So that's kind of how it started. And then she introduced me to Deb, and here we are. It's brilliant.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. And I love what you were saying, Dana, about this is so much bigger than people that have been diagnosed with breast cancer. If you think about it, we're all touched by this disease, whether we've had it or we all know somebody that has been through breast cancer. It is a pandemic. And to know, like you said, Dana, that every 19 seconds, somebody in the world is diagnosed. And so we are in this event sharing personal experiences. We're sharing things that could have been done differently in the hopes that you can relate to some stories. And I'm going to have Christy and Buffy and Dana share a little bit about their message and what they want the audience to walk away with. And while you ladies do that, I'm actually going to put the link up on the screen so that you can purchase tickets. It's this Thursday, May 11th, starts at 6 p.m. Arizona time, which at the moment is Pacific time. You can join in person in Scottsdale, Arizona. You can also purchase a ticket for the live stream, which will be recorded. So I'm going to put that link up on the screen just so that as you're listening to these stories, you're able to you'll hear it resonating with you, and you'll be able to say, yes, this is also for me, or yes, I have friends that I know could benefit from this. So let's go ahead. Dana, I know you're on short time. Do you want to share a little bit about your message? And then we'll hop into Buffy and then Christy, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure. I mean, my message is about, especially since I live with stage 4 metastatic, I was re-diagnosed almost 8 years ago, is really about just living, making that decision to live a life of passion. And to me, there's no time but now. You hear so many people saying, oh, I'm going to wait till I retire, or I really hate my job and I want to step into something new in life. And my question is, what stops you? Why are you stopping yourself? Why are you hindering yourself? First of all, you need to find self-love. I was just with a woman who has stage 4 metastatic, the same exactly as mine, and hers is spreading. And I said, let's go to the deeper root cause. And she said, my father was a severe alcoholic, and all my life, I've said, oh, so you've just suppressed all that emotion. I have a very different view of cancer. I do believe that cancer is a dis-ease in our body from everything, a trauma that we've harbored, and we don't talk kindly to ourselves in our life. And if you don't do that, where does that start to manifest itself? In your cells. And so I come at it from a very, not a radical point of view, just a very different point of view. Doctors may not particularly like it, but I keep seeing it over and over and over with all the women that I meet with. And I'm wondering, wow, what if we taught young girls, this is not my speech. My speech is about really living your life, really live it. Don't be afraid to fail. There's no failure. It's life pointing you in a new direction, a direction that's probably better for you. You just don't know it yet. So take chances in life, live daringly, be bold, be vulnerable, love more, celebrate your life. And you want to go out and do something, do it. There's nobody holding you back. It's our own head. We're doing it to ourselves. So, I don't have the luxury of maybe knowing, and none of us do. So I've been given a gift. In a real way.
I really love that
That's it.
perspective, Dana. And I think that, what a life lesson to learn, right? And unfortunately, we so often come to those realizations after major traumas or being diagnosed with, receiving a stage 4 metastatic diagnosis. And I love the message that we really don't have to wait for that, right? We can get up and do these things now. And so I think anybody that is in a place in their life, perhaps where they're feeling stuck, or they know that something needs to change, but they're not quite feeling the courage to do that yet, are definitely going to benefit from hearing your message. And so grab that ticket, come in here. Because I've heard Dana, I've heard her talk, and we've all been in this incredible environment where we've had the opportunity to hear each other go through these processes and put these talks together. And I can tell you how powerful it is going to be. So thank you so much, Dana. We really appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for doing this. Wait till you hear everybody else's speeches. They're
I know.
so inspirational. They really are. Just and Deb is
Awesome.
incredible at helping us go there and find it. And it hasn't been easy. I don't think any of us realized what this 90-day process would be. We might have had a little inkling, but I can tell you, every single woman is daring and brave. Definitely.
Ditto to that, 100%. Yeah, yeah. It has not been easy, but valuable, right? So incredibly valuable in so many ways. So we're so grateful that Deb, that you decided to do this. That Dana, you brought this to Deb because I think we're ready to start a spark in the world, right? To see a ripple, to see things change. We're not just talking about being diagnosed. We're talking about during treatment. We're talking about after treatment. We're talking about trauma, many things. So, speaking of many things, Buffy, would you like to share a little bit about your story, your message, and what you want the audience to walk away with? We can't hear you.
Okay, now I am.
Okay.
Okay. I before my diagnosis, I had lost my dad and sister to cancer also, and I watched them think about the things they wanted to do and didn't get to do because they passed away before they got to do the things they wanted. And it made me realize, as I was going through my traumas and diagnoses, that we don't know when our time is up, and we just have to live now and experience the joy, find the things that bring us joy and happiness in life, so that we can live and thrive. And I really want people to not have to go through the trauma that we've had to go through to learn how precious this life is, and to not take each day for granted. Live outside those comfort zones that are so hard to get out of.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Again, so powerful. And I think one of the things that occurred to me as we're going through this process, and it's kind of like you're speaking to, Buffy. It's like so often in life we get the lessons after going through hard stuff. And I think that one of the things that we can all agree on, and part of the reason why we all said yes to going through this process, is to help people learn the lesson without going through the hard stuff. Right? If we
Exactly.
can that for you, so that you don't
Yes.
have to go through that pain, you don't have to go through that trauma in the way that you have, you're going to you can walk away with all of these lessons without going through what we've had to endure. And I think that's something that we are each passionate about, and part of the reason why we all said yes, right? Now,
Yes.
Buffy, I know that you are also dealing with an injury right now, which is shifting your point, your story and your told just a touch. But Buffy's still showing up. You're still going to be there. She's pivoting. Big lesson, right?
Yes.
When
I'm
things
adjusting.
yes, when things happen in life, we don't necessarily stop. We pivot, we shift, we keep going. It might look a little different. That's okay. And I think that what you are going through, and you're going to have to show up to find out what I'm talking about here. So I'll get to it, and it will be very clear to you what's going on with Buffy. But she's still showing up. She's still
Yes.
showing up, and she's doing it because the message is so important that you want people to hear. And we so appreciate that, Buffy. Tell me quickly, how has this experience been for you?
It's been a lot. Emotionally, it's things that I thought that I had processed and dealt with. It's brought up a lot of that, and helped me take the healing to that next step. It's been amazingly powerful to connect to all these other women, to hear these sisters that know the paths that we've walked, even though our stories are a little bit different and our journeys have been different. Just to have this connection of women and this tribe, that I don't have to I don't have to explain for them to understand exactly what I'm feeling. I can just say one word and they all know. And that is powerful. And I don't think that I will ever not have this group of women in my life.
You're stuck with us. We're all stuck
Yep.
with each other in the best possible way. but and I love that, and I think that, oh my gosh, that, and I just got goosebumps because I think it's something that we can all relate to, that element that somebody actually gets it, and we don't have to go into every minute detail. It's just this understanding of what this experience that is breast cancer and how it can affect us mentally, physically, and emotionally. So thank you for sharing that, Buffy. That's, yeah, truly amazing. And I can't wait for your talk. I know it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. Now, moving on to my good friend, Dr. Christy Hibbert. Christy, welcome.
Thank you.
Christy and I
Glad to be.
met through breast cancer. We met a couple of years ago as we were both on our breast cancer journey. So we've known each other for a little while. Tell me how Amplify Voices has affected you, and then also what you want the audience to walk away with your message.
Yes, I chuckle because I've called you many times. Well, when I first was approached by Amplify, they found me through social media. I've been sharing my journey this whole 3 years and 9 months and however many days. And I was in a place where I thought I was finally kind of done with all the big surgeries. I had had 13 surgeries. I had done chemo, cold capping, and had a lot of complications. So it had just been a thing after thing after thing. And I finally felt like, okay, I think this is as good as it gets. So let me try to start feeling better. And I started feeling worse. And so it's been different than I thought, because when I was first approached, I thought, yeah, I love to speak. I mean, I do that. Like, I'm a professional speaker, and I'll speak anywhere, anytime, pretty much. I love it. And I would love to do something to help get our messages out about breast cancer, because I have a very clear message that I've been sharing all along. And then I ended up needing another surgery, and that really threw me for a loop. So when we finally got to starting the program, I mean, the first time we all met as a group before we were selected for this specific part, I mean, I was 5 days from having, hernia mesh removed and my whole abdominal wall repaired, and then was down again for 3 months in a chair, and felt like I was shoved back 2 years ago to when I'd had the hernia mesh put in after having a deep flap reconstruction. And so I really did not expect what ended up happening with me. I knew it would be tough. I knew it'd be emotional, but I also knew that I'd been working really hard through the emotions the whole time. I'd been in therapy. I'd been doing trauma work. I had done some ketamine assisted therapy at that point to deal with breast cancer trauma and also trauma from my past, which I have a lot of that. Some EMDR. So, I thought I was in a pretty good place. But once we started this program, I also thought, okay, when we started our 90-day training, I thought, okay, well, by then I'll be in this place of my journey. So I know so many watching, I know you can relate to this. You think, well, okay, it should take this amount of time for that and that amount of time for this, and then I'll be better, and then I can do this and that. And that just wasn't where I was. In fact, right when I thought I'd be starting to feel better, I was starting to feel worse again. And things that I thought had gotten better from my surgery actually started getting worse again. So it came to a point where, after I wrote a first draft of a talk and was just trying to write a talk. And even my husband was like making fun of me, because he's like, you've never spent months on a talk. And it's like a short talk. You write it like the day before. You never spend this much time. And I was like, I know, but I'm stuck. I can't do it. And I knew it was because all the trauma from breast cancer that I hadn't dealt with really was just resurfaced because I had been through this latest thing. And so I had to go back in, and I'm sure you all remember, like, one day when we were all meeting, I was just sort of like, I can't even sit here today and hear everybody talk about it because it's too much for me emotionally. And, you've all said the word, all of you said it, was trauma. And that is my message about the trauma, and the war that is breast cancer is really about that trauma that we experience sometimes from experiences with doctors, from surgery, from chemo, from all the treatments, from all the complications, and other traumas that happen at the same time in our lives, and how it's just really not addressed. And we're kind of left out on our own when treatment's done, which we all know it's not really done, going, how do I deal with this? Where did everybody go? And why am I standing here all alone? So I feel very passionately that the reason I have to believe there's a reason why almost 4 years into my diagnosis, I'm still dealing with challenges. And I listen to Dana and I feel like, yes, I want to live. And before this, I was living, man. I was living large. I've got 6 kids. I was, so I'm a psychologist. I had written 3 books and published. I was speaking, I was ready to take off in my career. I haven't been able to work since cancer because I don't feel well enough. I feel sick all the time. So it's hard to get out and do things when you just feel like you're going to throw up all the time. And I know there's a lot of you that are left with a lot of these things. So I feel like we need to do better. We need to do better in the whole around, everybody needs to do better at addressing the trauma, the PTSD that so many of us are left with, the depression, because I just, you just started helping me I started a group 3 years ago, a support group to help the emotional side of things with women going through breast cancer. And Karin just started in, and so now we're doing it together. But I mean, that's the thing I hear all the time is just, oh, I've been traumatized. Oh, I think I might have PTSD. It's been 10 years. And they've been living with it. So if we can start to talk about these things like we're all trying to do and raise awareness, I mean, my plan is to take this and then go out and say, okay, you don't know what to do. Let me teach you some things that you can do to try to put this in. Because imagine if we had a conversation about the emotional and mental side and the trauma that could happen or how it could be from the day we're diagnosed throughout. And if someone just acknowledged that and made it a normal part of the process, we wouldn't feel so weird or like there's something wrong with us because we can't deal with it. And that's kind of where I had to go, was to go back to that deep trauma work to even be able to get on that stage this week and give the talk that I'm going to give. So I'm kind of I'm walking the walk that I'm about to talk on Thursday. So.
Yeah, thank you, Christy. And I've been with you and seen you go through so much of this stuff, so I know it hasn't been easy. And I want to speak to that for a second, because you said that sometimes it's hard to hear what other people have been through. So I just want to acknowledge this, and help anybody that's on the fence about buying a ticket understand with this. The way that, and Deb, I know that this has been very intentional, right? The way that this event has been put together is not for doom and gloom. Is it real? Yeah, it's very real. And we get raw and we share the ugly parts of our stories. However, and this is the big however, and Deb, I'd love for you to speak to this, or Dana, I know you're still hanging out there in the background, but the intention is to take the pain and turn it into purpose, right? To take the fear and turn it into courage. And that's what each of these talks do. So yes, you might feel uncomfortable at some of the things. Some of the things might be triggering. But know that we're going to take you from that to a place of inspiration and empowerment versus leaving you there, because that's been our journey. So Deb, can you speak to that a little bit? Because I know you have been very hands-on in helping all of us go develop our talks, pulling these things out of us in your brilliant, gentle, supportive way, so that the message is very clear at the end. So can you speak to what is our audience going to walk away with on Thursday?
Yeah, well, that's a good question, because I think everybody's going to walk away with a little bit of something different from each person. And that's what's so amazing about the talks that we have. It's really a kaleidoscope of different experiences that you can learn from each one. What we say is that these talks, they're bite-sized talks. They're each 8 minutes in duration. And we call that, what we're giving people is what we call the Mrs. Fields cookie smell. For those who don't have Mrs. Fields, pick any of those amazing cookie places that they have out there. But Mrs. Fields, what they do is they pipe the smell of the cookies out into the mall so that it makes you want to come in and learn a little bit more. Each one of these talks has something uniquely different for different people. The perspectives are uniquely different, but then you can explore what you want to go into and learn a deeper amount of based on the different talks that we have. We found that in this process, that just by sharing these talks, the speakers, and I know that you were talking about what we call the dip, I think is what everybody's referring to here, is that moment where in the program, the speakers are going through and really grappling with their own message. We have a lot of people who walk around and when they're speakers that have this thing called the imposter syndrome. I'm sure people have heard of that before. And how we address the imposter syndrome is we actually get in there. We play with our messages. We understand them at a completely deeper level over the course of those 90 days so that when we stand on that stage, we own those messages. We have done the work to understand it at such a core level. And what these individuals are going to get is more than a message. They're going to get the women who are standing on the stages, the hearts, the souls, and really the journey of these ladies. The messages have transformed my life so much over the course of the 90 days because I get to work with these ladies. And so, just as an example with Buffy's message, hers is about really living life and living it now. And one of those things is someone who's busy, as like all of us are probably busy these days, right? But as someone who's busy, I kept saying no to things because I didn't have enough bandwidth on my plate. But what I started to discover in listening to Buffy's talk and your talk, Karin, incidentally, it was the combination of making sure that I was filling up my own tea kettle, filling up myself. And I was saying yes to things when I said to myself, I'd really love to do that, or that sounds like it would be great. But if I said that, I realized I need to do it. And instead of it actually burdening my schedule, what it did was it freed me up because I was doing the things that I wanted to do. And it was filling up my soul by doing those things, making me more productive, making me more clear-headed when I went in and had to do all of the other things. So it's amazing. And with Dr. Christie, with your talk as well. The one thing I heard when you delivered your talk was this collective sigh from the group in a recollection of seeing themselves in it and seeing something they had never discovered before and going, that helps to explain me. That helps to understand why the journey was the way the journey was. And it will give, I believe, so many people that collective sigh in the audience to recognize who they are and why their journey may look the way they look. I could go on and on about each and every one of the individual talks and how they've impacted my own life, but they are so incredible. They're so profound. These women have worked so hard over the past 90 days that it would be a shame not to have everybody hearing these messages, because I promise you there is something in this for everyone. So thank you for letting me be here and share about it. As you can tell, I'm passionate about it because these women are amazing and have absolutely enhanced my life. And we want to ripple that effect onto your listeners as well and have them join us on May 11th.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Deb. And as somebody that has not been through breast cancer, to hear that these messages have impacted you so, is just, it's such a great feeling, right? That the messages resonate with everybody. Let me just check back in with Dana here. I know she's on the streets in New York. Let's see if we can get her in. I'd love to hear, Dana, if you can hear us. I would love to hear.
I can hear you.
Okay, great. I would love to hear, like, what has been your biggest takeaway from going through this process, and how do you think that's going to impact our audience of not just breast cancer survivors, of anybody that is listening to this, we kind of touched on it a little bit before, but after hearing more of our conversation today, I wondered if you had any other thoughts.
Yeah, I'm just going to move into a really quiet place, and then sadly, I'm just going to have to go. I think this just needs to happen more often. I think we as women need to be given the space to use our voices. I think what's so important, there's no other program out there that is a 90-day program. None. It's a weekend, it's a fun, jolly weekend, and they're brilliant. They all serve a purpose. I never, through all the years of breast cancer, ever has had a group, never joined a group. I think what's so incredibly important is being able to put words to your feelings and your experience. And most of us don't do that. This is so different than getting on Instagram and doing a 30-second or 1 minute. This, I think, unites us all. I think whether you've had breast cancer or not, it's going to amplify more women to say, wait a minute, I have a story to tell. I want to use my voice. I want to put my feelings to words. And it's very different putting your feelings to words and writing something, which is incredible. It's very different when you actually say your words out loud. You speak your emotions, and these are very triumphant messages, you know, through the darkness into the triumph. I think it just does something to each of our souls that's so different when you speak it out loud, and you give permission and recognition to somebody else who then says, I want to amplify, I want to use my voice. I want to use my voice to help somebody else, to promote change, to get something that's harbored and been locked inside of me. I think this program is beyond brilliant. I really didn't know what to expect. But I think what I'm hoping that Thursday will do is that other people will say, ooh, maybe we should start this in our own community. And maybe they'll start to amplify their voices, and then it'll just start to have a great ripple effect. So I have to thank Deb for this. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing, Dana. Thank you so much. And I think that there is so much truth in that feeling of experiencing something and not being able to put words to it, and then somebody else says something, and the feeling of being validated, right? Suddenly you're recognizing what it is that you've actually been feeling, and recognizing that you're, number one, not alone, right? Such a big message that's going to come out on Thursday, but that what you're feeling is true and it's yours, and you deserve to be able to speak that and not be judged for it. And this is what you're going to take away on Thursday, seriously. Now, Thursday is, like I said, you're going to see 8 women. You've got 3 of them here, you lucky things, you, who are sharing just a little bit of what is going to be going on Thursday. You can buy your tickets wherever you're seeing this video. The link is also right there already. So wherever you're watching the video, the link is already posted above it or below it. But you can also see here, amplifyvoices.org/BBC. And we would love to see you in our audience on Thursday, whether in person in Scottsdale, Arizona, or virtually. I'll be virtually. I'm not on this stage, but I will be speaking June 10th. So there's going to be 2 events. But right now, grab your tickets, please, because your minds are going to be blown. You're going to walk away with a heart so full, with inspiration. You're going to be moved into action instead of that feeling of being stuck and lost and isolated, which sucks. And we've all felt it, and we know how painful that is. And so we don't want that for you. We don't want that for you. We know that there is more out there in this world. It's there for you to go grab. You just need a little bit of inspiration. We're going to be giving you a whole ton of it. So please buy your ticket. amplifyvoices.org/BBC. Anybody have any last thoughts before we close this up for today. I know that you guys are so busy. I thank you so much for taking time out of your busy, busy schedules as you're getting ready to get this amazing event on the stage. Any last thoughts?
Come join us. Join us, be inspired, and hopefully we can help you inspire your life. And we're always with you. You're never, ever alone, ever on this journey.
I'd say
Thanks
the
for
biggest
having us.
feedback that I hear, from audience members is, darn, I wish I brought fill in the blank. So don't be that audience member. Be there, bring your friends, bring your family members. Do not be the one that says, I wish I had.
Love that.
They're amazing talks.
Love that.
Yes, I think you're going to laugh, you're going to cry, you're going to be inspired, you're going to get all the feelings.
Love that. Kirsty?
Yeah, just we've done our part. Now it's time for you to do yours. So we've worked hard for 90 days and you'll see how it's paid off. I keep telling everybody, I promise you'll leave feeling like a better human. So it's worth that just to come.
Love it. Love it. Well, thank you again so much for taking time out of your busy schedules to be here today.
Thank you.
And I'm just so appreciative to know every single one of you. We are linked forever. Like I said before, you're stuck with me, and I'm so happy to be stuck with each of you. So thank you again for watching, everybody. And we'll see you Thursday, May 11th, live in the Scottsdale Performing Arts Center. Let me see if I can get that out. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.